This is the Great Gatsby summary for Chapter 8. Nick goes to visit Gatsby at his mansion after everything's happened. Nick suggests that Gatsby forget about Daisy and leave Long Island after the accident with Myrtle because things aren't going well and clearly Daisy's going to stay with Tom. Gatsby refuses to leave. He said if he did leave, he'd have to take Daisy with him. And that's when Nick realizes Gatsby's just never going to let go of his obsession with Daisy. Gatsby tells Nick the whole history about when he got together with Daisy back in Louisville in 1917. I'm not going to give you all those details. If you want to know, you can read this. It's called literacy. You can read it instead of watching this video. Anyway, so later on, Gatsby's gardener comes and talks to him, asks him if he was going to drain the pool because it's time to do that for the year. This is a little bit of foreshadowing. It's going to happen later. The previous day, the day before that, was the hottest day of the summer, which we know was a symbol for that being the climax of the story, the heating up of the story. But now, today, autumn is in the air, meaning it's cooler. So basically it's telling you in the story, things are cooling off. This is going to be going to the resolution. This is the falling action. So Gatsby says, don't drain the pool. I want to go for a swim, which is some foreshadowing. He's going to end up dead in that pool. Anyway, before Nick leaves to go to work that day, he shouts at Gatsby that he's worth more than the Buchanans and all of their friends, and because they're so awful and they don't care about other people and they just use their money to get out of things. So basically Nick goes to his office to go to work that day, but he's too distracted. Jordan even tries to meet him for a date. He won't go meet her. And then Nick goes and does like kind of a flashback sort of to tell the reader what happened at the garage after Myrtle was killed and hit and killed. And the details came from Michaelis. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it doesn't matter. George stayed up all night talking to this other guy about Myrtle because he was the one that witnessed the accident. He confronted her about cheating and told her that she couldn't hide her sin from God, even though she tried to hide it from him. And the symbol of that is the eyes of the Dr. T.J. Eckelberg from the billboard. Finally, Mr. Wilson comes to the conclusion that whoever was driving the car and hit Myrtle, hit his wife, must have been her lover, which we know is wrong. That's not what happened, but that's what he thinks. He decides that God demands that he get revenge, and he tries to go track down the owner of the car so that he can get revenge for whoever killed his wife. He goes to look for Tom because he knows Tom knew the car, is familiar with the car. So he sees Tom, and because he saw Tom driving the car earlier that day. However, he knows Tom wasn't the one actually driving the car because he saw him after the accident in a different car with Nick and Jordan. So Wilson goes and talks to Tom. At that point is when Tom must have told Wilson that Gatsby was the one driving the car because he didn't know it was Daisy. So, therefore, Wilson goes to Gatsby's house, sees Gatsby laying in the pool. He shoots Gatsby. He kills himself. Oh, wow. That's the end. It's over. Nick leaves work because he's so worried. He goes to West Egg to go find Gatsby again. And unfortunately, Gatsby's already dead, floating in the pool. And Nick realizes and imagines that Gatsby's final thoughts or visions before he died were probably a life without Daisy and that he did not attain his dream. So sad.